Here I have the Octosynth, which is a polyphonic piano, if you like to call it that. Or it's more of an organ, but an organ has a lot of keys. It's an electronic organ, let's just put it that way. It uses capacitive sensors to minimize wiring. As you can notice, there's only one wire. No ground connections to each metal tab, and no switches. Very fun. It's very easy to slide across. You may have noticed that I might have had some trouble pushing down because my body doesn't have as much capacitance today for some reason. Who knows? Maybe my body just doesn't change the copper tape's capacitance, but who knows at the moment. It's all running from an Arduino Uno, like most of my projects do, and I guess that's about it. This program was originally written by Joe Marshall. He wanted something for his toddler to be able to play with and not destroy. He put it in a box with carriage bolts as buttons. It runs from analog 0 to 6 and digital input 6 and 7. Now, as always, or most of the time, he didn't include which pin was output, which was very, 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 very annoying. Now, from my last synth, the Loud Objects Noise toy, which I was able to put on Arduino, I was able to figure out that I could just try every pin until it worked. So I gladly found my favorite speaker and went through each pin. Now, for those of you who say it can't be done without PWM, my Loud Objects Noise toy had a left channel for pin 11 and a right channel for pin 12, or the other way around, but ended up having two channels, and as you all know, pin 12 is not a PWM pin. As you may have seen in my last video, you noticed that when I turned it on, it didn't work out the first time, but the second time around it worked. Here. That's the tune you'll hear when you first hear the Arduino, the synth. Now you have to give it like 15 seconds to calibrate itself. Don't touch any of the keys within these first 15 seconds. Now, when I say 15 seconds, I don't mean actually count to 15. Guesstimate how long that is. Maybe give it 30 if you want, or if you have some time, a minute. I think I have oil on my hands. Something like that. Better go wash that off later. But sometimes it doesn't always work like it's supposed to. Sometimes it turns on. Here, I'll show you what happens without time for calibration, if I can do it. It's occasional. It's not always. As you can hear, the first tone that I played, which was this key, stayed, and it thought, okay, that's 0. 0 is no key playing. We don't want a tone overlaying. So that's how we can overlay one tone over it, but then it turns down the volume. This is running on PWM. Although, so you can hear the pulsing, but although my other Loud Objects Noise toy synth didn't. How interesting. That's really all there is to it. I used copper tape as metal tabs, and I soldered onto it. And I didn't use aluminum foil because A, I couldn't tape it down to anything. I'd have to glue it down. And also, aluminum foil can't be soldered to. But why didn't I use screws? Well, I couldn't find a good enough box to mount stuff in. Mounted in. All my boxes were too small or short for any screws that would accommodate fingers nicely, like mine. By the way, if you're the type of Sherlock Holmes type of person and you want to know someone's plays piano, just take a look at their fingers. Generally, people with longer fingers play piano. How you define long fingers? Well, that's really up to you. But enough of that. That's the polyphonic Octosynth on Arduino.